Hello. Alright, Lost Files. In 2014-15 through 2019, that is 2014 open brace 15 close brace through THROUGH 2019. I was on Invega Sustaina, INVEGA space SUSTAINA. This did promote parasitic infection growth. I became not of sound mind and certainly would admit that there was no possible way, although I did not break laws, that there was no possible way that I could consider myself anywhere near to being sane, but not breaking the law. I was sane. I was just, way out there somewhere. I'm on Invega Sustaina now, and I will recommend that I am to take St. John's wort, 300 milligrams. I'm not clear on how much. The bottle says, the jar, the container says 300 milligrams up to 3 times a day. This will half-life of St. John's wort, rather Invega Sustaina, that I am on week number 2, but the intramuscular injection, 150 milligrams Invega Sustaina, last week, Thursday, so that I take now, or somewhere around now, 3 weeks from now, I am intramuscular Invega Sustaina. 4 weeks from then, I will know whether this is acceptable to me to even begin to perhaps ail because of the St. John's wort Invega Sustaina combination. Vitamin C, Invega Sustaina, and oregano oil. This is my new special test. I will be allowed to eat 1 meal per day, and I did purchase protein drink. So I will have 2 protein drinks and 1 meal. Vitamin C, St. John's wort. Vitamin C is vitamin C. St. John's wort, 300 or more milligrams per day. And I'm not sure on the oregano oil right now. Lavender, I did myself a favor and purchased lavender essential oil, and what is called in Canada an infuser, or basically the steamer, so that the lavender oil will be in the apartment air, and that I will be much less anxiety ridden. I will have less anxiety, but I'll get there some other time. The last combination I had was kind of a free-for-all, lots and lots of alcohol. Lots of alcohol. Contraindicated with the Invega Sustaina, but I'll get there. I know that. I am an adult. Not only that, but I gained great health. The pain level was much less because the pain level was very high, but now I am in much less pain. Hoorah. Before that, coconut oil. Coconut oil, 3 tablespoons per day is really quite reasonable to not have parasites. Parasites are in the ground, pretty much. Parasites are in the ground, pretty much. These parasites do not like carrots so much. These parasites are recommended to be non-existent by coconut oil a lot in the human body. I did have more than 3 tablespoons per day of coconut oil November on. At least 1 week, a lot of evacuating of my bowels. The neighbor got off on my ailment and laughed a lot, because there was some sound that went along with watching my bowels evacuate, similar to having a colonoscopy prep. The doctor, Dr. Asarani, did offer me a colonoscopy because Canada will allow payment for that. I said no because I would be taking a colonoscopy from someone else. I did ask, can I have the prep without the colonoscopy? And there was no word on that. More than 3 tablespoons of coconut oil will, just wash you out like a cleanse or whatever your problem is. 3 tablespoons per day will, over time, I had no time, but right now, 3 tablespoons of coconut oil eaten every day, that a person is very, very healthy, much more than being in parasitic infectionville like me. I was eating very well. I had 3 meals a day, or food, or whatever. More than 3 tablespoons of coconut oil. That 1 week, kind of living in the bathroom with diapers. There was then, later there was more consistency to the waste. We think of more waste is better. That's not quite how it goes anyway. Sort of yes and no. Carrots, coconut oil, and licorice is what that plan was. Sort of, kind of, yes. There's a pill for that as well, but I didn't do that as somebody else's work. After the coconut oil, that was November and December, then it switched up to a lot of alcohol consumption because, similar to smoking cessation, you want to stop smoking, you do or don't stop smoking. I'm doing all the research because for CAMH, you betcha, the Center of and for Addiction and Mental Health, duh, I am lucrative and I am purposed, yes. So I am a contributing member of society. Hoorah. Anyhow, I do have food, but I will eat it or give it away. I have the protein shakes, whatever. On the weekends, on the meal days that I don't eat, I do or don't eat, period. Period. Anyhow, lots of coffee is fine with me, but it's the reality is coffee. More music I like. That was Fly Like an Eagle, and with the legs, of course. While I have been in hospital or in the maximum security prison CAMH, the AMH, Center of and for Addiction and Mental Health, as of this last year, 2024, January 11 in St. Michael's, February 11 in CAMH, CAMH, Center for and of Addiction and Mental Health, about 10 months. Out September, October, something like that. I was given the opportunity, now, to have metformin. My blood sugar seems to be 6, steady at 6. Could be that there's a lot of sugar in coffee or food, but whatever. Anyway, this is hyper and hypoglycemia, or metformin and diabetes. I'm so sorry. Remember, microfiche. Microfiche, APL, Appleton Public Library, Post-Crescent, year-end news, probably December. Diabetes is cured. In the smallest, tiniest little print, so I was told, by my friend that I relied. She told me. I'm glad. I did a lot of work. Canada made and produced insulin. Get it? Got it good. Now there's diabetes 1, diabetes 2, diabetes 3. Anyhow, metformin was given to me with parasites. Metformin is a drug, medication, old school, that removes the sugar from the blood by way of allowing or letting or helping the cells of the body from the blood sugar level goes down, whatever. The words are better my way, but the blood sugar goes down because the metformin helps the cells open so the cells can have more sugar in them. Yes, the parasites really enjoyed very much the sugar. And I was on haloperidol and metformin with Ativan, oh yes, per nurse's request, at the maximum security prison. And I broke my glasses and was punished severely. I decided I wouldn't take the metformin. And then I wasn't angry, and I was very angry. Anyhow, yeah, that's one of those special moments. Anger is very special. Anger is, emotions are pheromones, hormones, also known as, endocrinology or whatever, but the spinal column sends an electronic signal to the internal organs. This does have to do with chiropractic care. The spinal column, the internal organs, that the heart is glad, that anger is very much near the tailbone, and that different levels of the body, working or not working well, do make different moods. Moreover than mind over matter, a person can just be angry if a person wants to be angry, and the body will comply or not, is fine. Because. Anyhow, at CAMH, they placed me back now on Invega Sustenna. I have told them, I told Dr. Asarani, I told the doctors all, pretty much, that I could at CAMH. They do not mind, do not care. The death penalty is coming soon, period, to Canada, and or not. The Invega Sustenna is growing the parasites well in my body, and I am still doing very well yet. And that really is disappointing to many, and yet so few. This also does, I am, purposed, and lucrative. That's what a lot of people are at CAMH. A lot. Anyhow. There was a long missing files. It was beautiful. It was all that. Dr. Liu, a Chinese Canadian, that I was not at the maximum security prison, in the community, by Italian law influence on Canadian serfs and French fur traders law, a community treatment order in the community, in prison for the rest of my life, in the community, with wardens, that I had a Dr. Liu, I was on haloperidol, major tranquilizer, and Ativan, minor tranquilizer. Not to be persuaded, dissuaded, Center of and for Addiction and Mental Health, CAMH, CAMH. First, Dr. Liu changed the Ativan, the minor tranquilizer prescription, so well immediately that I did not take it. Within 1 to 3 months, probably 1 month, I said I will go from this 5 milligram pill of haloperidol, please, to 10. 10 milligrams with a snap of the fingers, please. He said yes. I said, okay. I went to the pharmacy. I went to get the prescription. The pharmacist does or doesn't have records. She called him, he called her, or not. No prescription. 3 months later, I got a prescription for 10 milligrams of haloperidol. Now, at the pharmacy, they need to fill the prescription order, and the 5 milligram was difficult. They had to make the special thing. I had already told them that they do a fine job. They really do well. I have Invega Sustenna and St. John's wort information from the pharmacist. This is where half-lives come in and all of that. That's also, for some people, Google this and that and the other thing. Anyhow, on the haloperidol, because Dr. Liu had already ruined my liking for the Ativan at that time, that I was on the haloperidol, 10 milligrams, and was so miserable that I did not take the haloperidol, which is, I was not insane at the time. I was in the community. I was in my apartment. There was no illegal activity. No one had accused me, and that I had legally presented to the courts well enough that I was not required to be on antipsychotic, drugs, medication, whatever, and that I was free from CAMH. Dr. Liu, after I called and said, I'm done, you will not be allowed by me, Gail, to use my OHIP, Ontario Health Insurance Program card you cannot bill. That I'm done. Dr. Liu came in person all the way across town. He would take his time, and that would be billing, and he would get paid for that. He would have put off all of that money that he could have earned for paying himself by writing prescriptions for just 20 minutes, and he triple bills, by the way. 20 minutes per person makes his dream home, his Barbie vacation home, his car, his children's college tuition, his retirement. Anyway, he came here in person, and by the time I proved to him that really he wasn't going to get paid and that I was done, he demanded that I fill out a piece of paper on paper that the telephone call presenting to CAMH was not enough, that I write something down because he wasn't going to, that I sign something that he wrote so that CAMH could have a piece of paper so he could get paid. I said, sure, yes. I doubt that I ever sent it back. It did arrive, and I believe that that was sent to Service Ontario, 777 Bay Street, when at 2024, somewhere in the fall, I rescinded my Canadian citizenship, and that's my birthright. I rescinded my birthright. I rescinded my Canadian citizenship, just to be living in Canada, to be the ultimate Canadian, of course. But I can always go back every day to 77 Bay Street and get to the end of the line, the back of the line, again and again and again. Until they what? Don't let me do that, of course. The documents are there. I don't have the recollection. A person has pieces of paper, and this can be read and reread. The person recollects. Photographs, photo albums, whatever. This is recollection. Even if I lose something and I write a poem about it, I recollect through the poem, and then I have much more. Now, as far as Katrina and all of the flooding in many areas of the world, eBay, I bet you can find something you really wanted somewhere on eBay. I'm sure of it. Anyhow, this is actually real, and I ran out of time or not. I gotta go. Bye-bye.